All right, so move on to the next segment. We're going to switch gears here to college football. And in this next segment, I'll be sharing my thoughts on college football playoffs officially being announced for next month in the month of January for college football playoffs. So the committee has officially sealed the deal. We saw Sunday afternoon they officially announced the 4 teams that will be playing in this year's college football playoffs. We'll be seeing the first seed in Michigan. And then you have taking place. We have the first seed in Michigan Wolverines taking on the 4th seed Alabama Crimson Tide, and then we will also be seeing the 2nd seeded Washington Huskies take on the 3rd seeded Texas Longhorns. So I think these are 2 great matchups that we're going to see in the college football playoffs this year. So I'll share my thoughts on how I feel about the seeding. Starting off with Michigan. I do believe that Michigan deserved to be the number 1 seed this year in the college football playoffs. They are 13-0. They're the Big Ten champions this year. They've looked really good all year long. Really no hiccups with the program all year long. They've handled business. They picked up 2 big wins without their head coach Jim Harbaugh on the sideline when they went on the road to defeat Penn State in hostile territory. Then they won the biggest game of the college football season when they defeated Ohio State at home. Both of those key victories doing that without their head coach Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines, and then they just dominated Iowa in the Big Ten championship game. They obviously have been the best team all year long in college football, as they deserve to be the number 1 seed. I have no problem with that. And then you have Washington, the Washington Huskies. I do believe they deserve the 2nd seed in college football this year. The way how Michael Penix Jr. has been playing has been phenomenal. He's in the run. I think he's going to be my pick for the Heisman Trophy winner this year. But nonetheless, the team has been really great. They're 13-0. They became the final Pac-12 champions in college football history. They defeated Bo Nix and Oregon Ducks twice this college football season. So I think they deserve to be the number 2 seed in college football playoffs. So this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets a little dicey. Texas, I do believe that they got it right. I do believe that the committee got it right. They do deserve to be the 3rd seed. They're currently 12-1. Had an impressive victory against Alabama earlier in the college football season. They won 7 games in a row and had an impressive Big 12 championship win against Oklahoma State, winning that game 49-21 in dominating fashion. I really think that's one of the reasons why the committee fell in love with Texas even more when they made this decision. Their impact of what they did in the Big 12 championship game, when a lot of teams were watching, and the committee was definitely watching. They went out and won that game 49-21 in Jerry's world. That's a big victory for Texas. I think they deserve to be the 3rd seed. Now, the final seed. I do believe that the committee got it right with Alabama being the 4th and final seed in the college football playoffs. Alabama went 12-1 this year. They earned the final seed for the college football playoffs. They defeated Georgia in the SEC championship game. They are the SEC champions this year. They defeated a Georgia Bulldogs team that were going on a 3-peat run in college football, something that hasn't been done in nearly 100 years. The Georgia Bulldogs lost their first game in 2 years to the hands of the Alabama Crimson Tide. And unfortunately, and they also won 9 games in a row. But then unfortunately, Florida State did not get in, and they finished the season 13-0. And I do believe it was the right decision for the committee not to let Florida State in. Jordan Travis is out for the rest of the season, unfortunately with a broken leg. And they would have gotten blown out by any of the following teams in the dance by Michigan, Washington, or Texas if they let them in over Alabama. So I think that's a great way to let them out and let Alabama in. We've seen Cinderella teams get blown out over the course of the college football playoffs, and I think the committee wanted it to be competitive as possible. And unfortunately, they got the short end of the stick. But Florida State is not the same team without Jordan Travis. They are not the same team. They only scored 16 points in the ACC championship game against Louisville. They only averaged 3.4 offensive yards per play. That's not good enough to beat any of the top teams in the college football playoffs. Alabama had a 9-game winning streak, won the SEC championship game, defeated the everybody's kryptonite in college football playoffs, that being the Georgia Bulldogs, handing them their first loss in 2 years. Alabama was more deserving of getting in than Florida State. And I think Texas's big win, their Big 12 championship win, was more credible to let them in also over Florida State at this particular point of the college football year. But that is my thoughts on the college football playoffs officially being set. I do believe that the committee got this 100% correct, and I think we're going to be in line for an historic college football playoffs this year.